The soft sunlight dispels the sleep. Even with my eyes closed, I can read the silence around me with my skin senses. The air is cool yet gentle. Apparently, the sky couldn't be any clearer today. Then I have to get up and go to school. After all, for the past 2 days, I've been having such a hard time remembering that I'm a student. And somehow, we're back at the mansion. I guess Arcueid must have taken us all the way back. I woke up. My body is lying on the bed, and my glasses are on the pillow. I put on my glasses by conditioned reflex and let my gaze swim. The sunlight through the window is so bright. I take a deep breath and let in some fresh air. I see. Sunday, school's out. The hands of the clock clicked and ticked. I can hear the birds chirping from outside. Oh, it's back. It's a normal morning, but now it feels so much more pure. Good. It wasn't that I was alive or that I was able to deal with the vampire. After experiencing that extraordinary event, I'm able to come back to my daily life. I can feel this morning as a happy one. For a tiny person, it is the best reward, and... Good morning, Shiki-sama. Oh my god! My upper body jumps up and down. I looked over and saw Hisui waiting at the door. Hisui. I'm sorry. Since you didn't notice me, I called out to you. Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry too. I was surprised. My heart is racing when I wake up. Huh? It's not even 7 o'clock yet. Yes, it's a little early for you to be awake. That's right. Then what's Hisui doing here? Yeah, I was about to ask why she's here, if it's so early. I've come to wake you up, Lord Shiki. Akiha will explain the circumstances of the last 2 days to me, and she's asked to bring you here even if she has to use leverage. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. She would be incredibly mad. Akiha, 2 days, Hisui. Unintelligible words fly around in my brain. I had 10 seconds to guess, resisting the temptation to abandon my thoughts. Speaking of which, I mean, no matter how you look at it, there's no excuse for the behavior of the past 2 days. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of excuse he could really come up with here. Absence without notice, breaking the curfew. On top of that, I've lost touch with you. Akiha is a bit... Akiha is a bit of a bitch. Oh my god. How am I supposed to interpret that? Akiha is a bit cold just because she didn't leave before dusk. I can't even imagine what she looks like now. I don't think he meant to say Akiha's a bitch. Maybe something close to that. You know, Hisui. To put it mildly, Akiha is very angry. Well, what do you think? You'll have to find out for yourself, Shiki-sama. Okay, Hisui's voice was also casually cold. If only I had crawled back to the mansion. Crawl, though? No, wait a minute. Before that, why am I sleeping in my room? Shiki left a little after 2 a.m. last night. Wait, was he even there last night? He was asleep on the doorstep, but my sister noticed you and took you to your room. Yeah, that's what I figured. Arcueid pretty much just left us outside the mansion. I can't keep my mouth open. I came home in the middle of the night after not hearing from me, and slept in the doorway without going back to my room, like a wild drunk who missed the last train. She left me there like I was a cat or something. Arcueid's face comes to mind. Almost like you're Neko, Arcueid. But maybe I should be grateful that they brought me to my doorstep. Anyway, I got the situation under control. Oh, that's what you think. I'll be right there, and I'd appreciate it if you could tell Akiha to calm down as much as she can. I am sorry, sir, but I'm afraid I can't do that for various reasons. Hisui replied crisply. It is safe to say that Tonoshiki's status has fallen to the lowest level in the current Tono residence. The owner of the mansion is Akiha, so if Akiha is angry, it's only natural that she doesn't have any allies over here. Let's get up anyway. I can't start staying in bed forever. Oof. What just happened? I want to... As soon as I stood up, I felt a tearing pain in both legs. I see. What should I be surprised about? I should be surprised that I'm still alive. After all that recklessness, it was unnatural for me to be able to greet the morning like this. Shiki-sama? How can I help you? That is so... A large amount of sweat was breaking out on my forehead. Apparently, the pain of trying to walk was enough to make my body react that way. If you're not feeling well, you might want to take some time off. As I said earlier, I'm not going to tell Akiha about it. No, it's fine. It's just a sprain. It'll go away soon. I'm more afraid of Akiha than I am of you. If I procrastinate, she's going to get even angrier. Yeah, you're probably right. That seems like something she'd do. Hisui's eyes seem to accuse me of telling a lie. But because of Hisui's position, she can't pursue my lie. I'm sorry, but for now, I'm going to have to convince you with this obvious diversion. I'll go to the lobby after I change. I'll be right with you. Just wait for me in the hallway. Thank you very much. Please take it easy on yourself. Hisui bowed deeply and left the room. I changed out of my nightgown and into my casual clothes, trying to move as little as possible. My first holiday at my parents' house in 7 years began with some turbulence. Yeah, I can't wait to see how angry Akiha is going to be with us. Why didn't you contact me, Nissan? Hisui was waiting for me in the hallway. My left leg was so badly injured that I wanted to scream every time I walked. Every part of my body feels heavy, but it's just minor muscle pain. It's not that hard. Yeah, that's what you say now, and then eventually it's going to get worse. Like, I'm surprised he's still alive at all after that fight with Vlav. I think his name is Vlav. I was saying Vrov, but apparently Vlav is the right way to pronounce it. And which I kind of figured, because sometimes in Japan they replace L's with R's, so they're calling him Vrov. I checked with my hands that the cuts on my cheeks and shoulders that I had received from Vlav's ice shards had healed completely. The unnatural lack of even a scar made it clear that it was Arcueid. She said that she was going to take care of it, and she did. Oh yeah, that's right, Arcueid did heal him to an extent. Shiki-sama, I am sorry to be so rude, but please use this. Hisui coyly held out a long, thin stick. Yeah, you need a walking cane like Matt Murdock now. This is not a cane, it's a walker. Oh, no, it's not even a cane, it's a walker for old people. How often do you see this? Yes, I remembered seeing it in the equipment room before. I've been looking for you with a ray of hope. A ray of hope is an exaggeration. I almost laughed and noticed that Hisui's breath was faintly rising. She hurried to get it while I was still changing. Thank you. To be honest, I almost jumped out of my heels every time I walked. You're a big help. Yes, I hope I've been helpful. I catch the weight on my left leg with my left hand over my walker. I thanked Tsui once again for her thoughtfulness, and we both moved to the lobby. Get ready to be accosted by Akiha again. Well, we've arrived. I wonder if Dr. Arak is going to be here to break the tension. I put the walker up next to the door. From here on out, just a door away, the head of the Tono family, Akiha-sama, a year younger than me, is waiting to hear her pathetic brother's defense. It's a terrible cave, this place. No, there's no point in being weak. This was almost my own fault, no matter what the circumstances were. I was absent from school for a day and didn't come home for 2 days. It's no wonder that Akiha is asking for an explanation. Oh boy, choice time? Apologize honestly, fake it somehow, tell the truth. Oh, should we really tell the truth though? Well, apparently what we should do is apologize honestly. I mean, that's what I would do. Yeah, I think it's for the best. I can't talk about Arcueid or Vlav. You can't get through to them, and you shouldn't have anything to do with them. Since we can't tell the truth no matter what, let's at least apologize honestly for our fault. Okay, let's go. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door to the living room. Good morning, brother. Oh my god, she looks so angry. Strangely enough, it feels like it's been a long time. No, my sister, isn't that a little too powerful? Well, good morning, Akiha. Please just sit over there. Yeah, it's going to be a long story, isn't it? Is it my imagination, or does it look somewhat fun? Oh, that. A snake in front of a frog or something like that. I guess he's trying to say Akiha seems to be enjoying herself. I wondered if it would be a good idea to just say a few words and leave. Nah, that'd probably just make her even angrier. Brother? Brother? Oh, yeah, I'll sit down. My naive idea of running away dissipated with a glance at Akiha. I sit down on the sofa, holding back the pain in my left leg. I'm sitting down. I don't have to tell you. You don't have to say it. Please don't kill our spirits with your strange attitude. It's not fair. What? Why is that cowardly? It's not fair. If you look at me like that, I'll loosen up. Why do I feel like she's putting on an act? Like, if you act pitiful in front of me, I'll feel sorry for you and I won't be as angry. When she cleared her throat and stopped speaking, Akiha glared at me with an even sharper gaze. Brother, I was wondering if you could tell me about the day before yesterday and the day before that. Akiha says gracefully, picking up her teacup. Although she said something like, "Can I ask you something?" it was definitely in order. But as her brother, I couldn't let her hear such a story. I'd rather have Akiha hate me than worry about me. That's the thing, Akiha. Yes? What is it? Quite frankly, I can't explain the situation. Oh, that's not a good answer. Cling. And then the teacup that Akiha was holding fell on the table. No, it was more correct to say that it was intentionally dropped. Akiha-sama. Oh, I'm sorry, Hisui. Can you clean up? Her voice was so scary. Hisui silently cleaned up the spilled tea and the chipped, very expensive-looking teacups. But her voice is so scary. After cleaning up, Hisui left the living room. So, brother. What? Can you tell me more about the events of the past 2 days? Have we gone back in time? The head of the family is trying to get him to talk. Still, I can't tell you what happened. It's for my own good, but I can't let Akiha get away with that. Yeah, I mean, how do you explain all that? I couldn't let her hear that story. I can't tell you no matter how many times you ask. I'm sorry for making you worry about something that you didn't need to worry about. I'm sorry for not contacting you, but I just can't talk about it. You feel bad for me, but you can't talk about it, can you, brother? Don't you have an excuse? No, that's... As much as I'd like to explain myself, there is no excuse for this. But I haven't done anything wrong in the last 2 days. I want to believe that. Well, except murder somebody. That's right, it was 2 days of killing and being killed and nothing but that. But I want to believe that it was the right choice. I had my reasons for helping Arcueid, but most of all, I didn't regret killing that vampire. Even if he didn't make it in time, there would be no more someone to be killed by bloodsucking in the future. Sorry, Akiha. I'm sorry to bother you, but please don't ask any more questions. Akiha stares into my eyes. For a while, I had such a hard time breathing. Yes, it is. If you think about it, brother probably has his own situation, and I can't really interfere with that. Sorry, I appreciate you saying that. Well, it seems like she understands. I understand. I will not pursue this matter any further. I'm at fault for not contacting you. What? There's no such thing as a fault, is there, Akiha? I'm the one who took your cell phone. Oh, right. She had our phone. That's why our phone wasn't blowing up. If you had that, even a sloppy brother would have at least contacted you, wouldn't he? No, that's... The cell phone was secretly returned to me, or I should say, oh yeah, that's right. He did have the phone given back to him. But that's just this one time. Please refrain from doing this in the future. You are the only male member of the Tono family, so you need to understand your position a little better. If bad publicity were to spread, it would affect the Tono family's ability to socialize in the future. What about future socializing? You don't mean me and that prestigious guy. No, that's not the problem. My relatives don't even care what I do. In fact, Akiha is the heir to the Tono family, so if she cares about the family, she should have sent me elsewhere or found a suitable son-in-law for the Tono family. Oh god, I feel like that's going to offend her. For some reason, Akiha fell silent. What's wrong? Are you feeling sick, Akiha? No, thank you. If you have time to care for me, please take care of yourself. You have chronic anemia, brother. That's true, though I frequently fall ill with anemia. Anyway, please don't leave the house alone too often. Even if you don't, the city is very noisy these days. If you're like my brother, you're just asking to be attacked by street thugs. It's okay. That incident will never happen again. A series of murders that had the city in an uproar. Reportedly a modern-day vampire, the culprit has yet to be discovered, and the darkness of the night threatens people. But that's all in the past now. What? It means there are no vampires. That killer's already been caught. Is that so? That's good news, but brother, how could you know such a thing? Oh, yeah, I just happened to be at the scene of the arrest. Accidentally, I laughed to myself. Surely, that was a coincidence. The 2 days I spent with Arcueid. So much has happened that it still feels like a dream. The monster that had been nesting in the city is gone. I can proudly say that I'm happy about that fact. Brother, you suddenly look so happy. It's nothing. I just knew it was over. I could finally feel it. I smile unknowingly and let out a murmur. Anyway, even with this explanation, Akiha approved. I thanked her and stood up. No, I'm starving now that I feel safe. Can I go get some breakfast? Wow, you don't need to ask me for permission. Well, I mean, the way she acts, you'd think you'd have to ask her for permission for just about anything. I don't want to control your breakfast, so please feel free to take it. I'm sure Kohaku will be in the kitchen preparing it. Thank you. Then be my guest. I start walking towards the doorway. My left leg still hurts. Wait, brother. I've been wondering about it since a while ago, but now it's clear. You've injured your leg, haven't you? No, it's more like a sprain or a muscle strain. Anyway, it's not a serious injury, so don't worry about it. I see. No big deal then. Akiha stumbled up to me. Oh god, is she gonna like act as like some kind of a crutch for us or something? And then, just like that, she made eye contact with me. Ah! What did she just do? She stepped on the back of my left foot, which was the most swollen, with such precision that I thought she had seen through the affected area. I was surprised. Even Brother's poker face is vulnerable to direct pain. That's weak! I'm more surprised than you are! You knew what you were doing, didn't you? You misunderstand. I was just trying to be as brave as I could, believing Brother's words that it wasn't a serious injury. The demon's sister smiles gracefully. What's that? It was definitely a way for her to get back at me for not telling her what was going on. Akiha returned to the sofa in an unconcerned but extremely good mood and elegantly sipped from her teacup. Well, you're right, it wasn't much of an injury, but it wouldn't do to leave it alone. Why do you think he's using a walker? Brother, as a patriarch, I give you this order. As soon as you've finished your breakfast, go see the doctor, regardless of the reason for your injury. It's annoying to be in so much pain. Well, I'd love to see you, but don't you want to ask me why I'm injured? I'm not interested. It's probably just a silly reason, but if I ask, you don't want me to know, do you, brother? It was a curt reply from the head of the family. If you have a non-traumatic sprain, Kohaku can help you. Oh, I see. Dr. Arak was there this morning, wasn't she? That woman is originally a surgeon. Oh, Kohaku in internal medicine and Dr. Arak in surgery. You can choose whichever you like. Oh, are we really making a choice here? What an unexpected turn of events. Oh god, we really are. See Kohaku or see Dr. Arak? Honestly, I kind of want to see Dr. Arak. I want to see Dr. Arak and see what happens. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go with Dr. Arak. Let's not save here because this isn't really an important choice, I don't think. I'll have Dr. Arak take a look at it. I still don't know what kind of person she is, but since she's wearing a white coat, I'm pretty sure she's a doctor. I understand. I'll let Dr. Arak know, so please wait in your room for the rest. Dr. Arak is an unpredictable person, but she's a good doctor. If you're going to live here, you'll see her often, so take this opportunity to get to know her better. Akiha's voice was indifferent. It's as concise as communicating a message. Yeah, here I was thinking that Akiha was going to be a crutch for us. Oh, how wrong I was. She wasn't going to do anything like that. Don't expect her to do something nice for us. She's not going to show her dare side here, I guess. Well, breakfast for now, and then I'll see the doctor. Oh god, I can only imagine what Dr. Arak is going to do to us. Probably sexually harass us. I spent some time in my room reading paperbacks. It was almost 10 a.m. when I saw the white coat strutting down the hallway through the window. You're here, I said, putting the book away. At the same time. Oh my god. Hi, good morning, Chang. What is that supposed to mean? Also, I don't think that's proper dress code for a doctor. You want me to play with your body in the morning? Chiki-chan is so enluring. I wonder if I'm going to fall prey to the stew-like adolescent boy disease. I guess she means I wonder if I'm going to, if Shiki's going to do perverted things to me. Without even knocking, a drunk woman walked in with a fancy bag in her hand. I regret that I did not choose Kohaku after all this time. Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I asked the wrong person, so can I ask you to leave? It's been a long time since I've done an outpatient consultation, so I'm not sure how close I can get to the patients. I thought it would be better to be frank. I'm not sure what to make of this. In spite of her flamboyant model walk, with her chest and waist twisting more than necessary, she did not make a single footstep, but she was as stealthy as a ninja. It used to be that this was yet another heel snap, but this time it was a medical examination, and I wondered if they were taking it a little more seriously. I don't think Dr. Arak is really taking anything seriously. Yes, we take them out of the affected part. Take it out right away, and if you have to, get naked. You can't hold back your overflowing interest for even a single second, so don't hold back or you'll end up getting eaten. Okay, well, I mean, it seems really obvious what she wants here, so I think we should give it to her. You haven't been drinking, have you? I'm not drinking, I'm always sober, but I'd rather drink chocolate than consume alcohol. Chocolate! I certainly don't smell any alcohol. So this tension is normal. Oh, you've been so honest with me, but did you just pull up the hem? Where are your pants? Aren't you going to wear only underwear? It's a waste of time if you don't get into the habit of exposing yourself while you still can. Yep, this is what I thought, sexual harassment. Just hurry up and see me, doctor. I have a limit to my patience. Did you just say doctor? Did you just say doctor? I know I look like a doctor, don't I? Well, you're wearing a lab coat, and you're kind of, you know. It's like the scientist himself, the one with the mad name. So, she's a mad scientist. I love you like a Godiva. Okay, let's get serious. Dr. Arak sits back and palpates both of my legs. It was a strange feeling. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is proper procedure. Rather than my fingers tracing my skin, it feels like they are running down my skin. There's something that echoes inside my body, Kong Kong, but there is no pain at all. What can I say? It was palpable, like sonar on a submarine. Oh my god, you've got a crack in your bone. Shiki-chan must really love pain. I can't stand this kind of thing, you know? I knew it. I'd rather just use the ruckus to help. It wouldn't have been surprising if it had been broken in places. But that's weird, isn't it? If there's a crack here, then it must be broken around here. Atashi, who captures it without thinking. What are you doing right now? It's just a little disinfectant. But I don't need to open this. Just fix it and it'll be fine tomorrow. Aragiku, you're boring. Dr. Arak scratched her head in frustration and pulled out a medical device from her bag. She put on plastic gloves, which were now sealed, and prepared the syringe. Oh god, what are you doing with that? I'll give you some painkillers just in case. I don't need them, but the owner asked me to be careful. With a fluid hand, Dr. Arak injected my left leg. The treatment was then completed with the taping and bandaging of the heel. It was really a brilliant move. She is second to none to the old man at the doctor's office that I used to take care of when I was at Arma's house. She's a great doctor if she keeps her mouth shut, isn't she? Yeah, if she keeps her mouth shut, I guess. Thank you very much. You've been a great help. It's okay. I'm not licensed and I'm not an expert. And you called me Dr. Shiki-chan? She was very happy to be called doctor. By the looks of it, I guess Akiha and the others have never called her that before. But Shiki-chan, it looks like you put your body through a lot. Did you challenge the limits of the human body's mobility? I love that kind of crazy stuff, so I won't stop you as a doctor. Yeah, it really turns me on. Oh, doctors aren't your day job, are they? You're so spiteful, Shiki-chan. He seems quiet, but he is cold-blooded, or something like that. Are you a hybrid not only in body but also in spirit? I mean, how much do you really know about your own body? You mean anemic? Not that one, the muscular and skeletal one, or engine and frame, if you prefer. You've got an unusual body. By the way, you're touching me. I'm not sure what to make of it. That's all well and good, but it's kind of light. It's not the skeleton, but the bones themselves that are light. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm sure you'll agree. What's that? I'm a bird with light bones, am I? Oh yeah, something like that. It doesn't come naturally, does it? You must have been very elaborate in your breeding. Shiki-chan is a thoroughbred, born only to run 10 seconds. Even though we're brother and sister, I'm the complete opposite of the head of the family, Chan. The exact opposite of Akiha? What? Yes, the Tono family's children are all the result of a combination of excellent and old genes, a hetero breeding, but the head of the family, Chan, is a bit of an exception, or rather a special exception, or is it a miracle? Ancestry. Well, segregation. You have a pure pattern before you start breeding. What is she trying to imply there, that the Tono family are products of inbreeding or something? I think if I remember correctly, that might have been the case in the old game, that they kind of vaguely allude to that. That's right, if you're a one-in-a-decade talent, how many years do you think she'll be a one-in-a-decade talent? Oh god, are we actually making a choice here? 1 in 10 years, 1 in 100 years, 1 in 1,000 years? 1 in 100? It's all a big misunderstanding. I can't even compare it to artificial talent. He's a once-in-a-lifetime monster. Dr. Arak laughs heartily with a smile on her face. Without knowing it, I clenched my fists at that attitude. Oh my god, are you mad at me for belittling your sister? I thought I gave her the highest level of love, but... Oh, she was talking about her, not Shiki. For a second I thought she was talking about Shiki. I see. Even if that's the case, please don't talk like that. Please don't use the metaphor of monsters. Now that I know the real thing, vampires, I can't tolerate the use of that word for humans. Much less pointed at Akiha ever again. Oh, did I step on a landmine? Oh, I'm scared, so I'm going to Oitama. Miss Arak cracked her heels and ran for the door. There is no calling off that back. However, the woman in white stopped in front of the door and turned around with a grimace on her face. But as a doctor, I have some advice for you. If you're planning to get injured in the future, I'm here to help you, Shiki-chan. You seem to have a lot of body fat. What, wouldn't you like to take 7 years off your body? I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that. I don't understand. However, I had a physiological aversion to taking her up on her offer. I'm going to respectfully decline, and this won't happen again. Yeah, I hope so. See you later, ciao! I'm always waiting for you! I just can't understand that woman. Dr. Arak left the room after giving me a throwaway kiss. Let's get back on track. Now that I'm able to move, I need to figure out how to spend my afternoon. I'm surprised we didn't choose how to, if we didn't actually have a choice on how we would spend our afternoon. Wandering aimlessly around the mansion. After lunch, it was afternoon. Thanks to the doctor's visit in the morning, I had no trouble just walking. I can't get very far, but what should I do now? Take a stroll in the courtyard, take a look around the mansion, go out into the city for a walk? Well, I definitely don't think we should go out into the city. Akiha would get even more, get even more mad if we went out into the city again. Take a walk in the courtyard. Yeah, I guess we should do that. Take a walk in the garden. Who is usually in the garden? I think Akiha is sometimes in the garden. Either Akiha or Kohaku. I haven't been out in the garden since I came back to the villa. Let's go and see how things have changed since 7 years ago. From here, we should be able to get out to the courtyard through the doorway behind the grand staircase. go out on the terrace. This is also the backside of the living room. When I was a kid, this was Akiha's place to be on a sunny day. No, it's not a place, but a range of activities. Akiha never went out to the park by herself, and this terrace was the only place she could go. I used to call out to them from the garden and steal their attention. I think she also asked me to stop by here whenever I went out to play. It's not fair for us to go to the forest by ourselves, or something. As a result, I took Akiha out to the forest, and it was my role to get angry. The terrace leads out to the garden. To a child's eyes, it looked like an endless garden, but now that I have a better perspective, I can see the whole picture. The number of flowers had decreased compared to 7 years ago, but the atmosphere of the garden had not changed. Slowly, I walked for about 10 minutes and arrived at the rest area. Well, I know Akiha is usually here. This is the end of the garden. From here on, the forest becomes densely covered with trees. With my leg injury, I think I'll stop walking here today. And yet, it's such a far cry from Japan, isn't it? I sat down on a rock and looked out over the vast autumn garden. At this point, it was more like a castle than a Western-style house. It must be a spectacular view, but it's so disproportionate to me that I can only smile. As far as I know, Akiha and... That's about it, right? The only thing I can think of is that woman who was so gorgeous it was mind-boggling. What the hell is that? Shaking my head, I shook off my crazy imagination. Why am I thinking about Arcueid here? In the first place, I'll never see that girl again. There was no reason to stay in this city now that I had killed the vampires that were my goal. So, there's no point in reminiscing about it here anymore. That's right. We've always had that kind of relationship, so it's no big deal. I'm really glad that I don't have to do anything like that anymore. I was about to say something when I closed my mouth. Muttering ineffectual lies will only lead to emptiness. It's a relief to be rid of that girl, but whether it's a good thing is another matter. Because it's still in my heart. Regret, unrequited love, and so on. She brought nothing but trouble, but she was still a little, well, fun to be with. Am I an idiot? I don't know what she's got left to do after she almost killed me once. The wound from last night is still in my leg. Remember how Vlav tried to kill you? I don't want to have to go through that again. Sighing, I left the gazebo. On the way back, I took a walk around the courtyard to pass the time. But even after the sun went down, the unidentified feelings did not disappear easily. Seems like Shiki's still, thinking fondly of Arcueid. Maybe he'll try to go after her, or she'll come to us. Dinner was once again awkward. The afternoon of my day off went without a hitch. After that, I went back to my room to relax, and before I knew it, it was time for dinner. I shake off the blonde woman stuck in my brain. They say that autumn days are a time of vine dropping, but even so, it was too sudden. It seems that I was so lost in idle musings that I lost track of time. In the cafeteria, there was me, Akiha, Kohaku-san behind her, and Hisui behind me. Kohaku-san's homemade dinner was a series of courses with Wagyu beef as the main dish. Perhaps it was the manners of the Todo residents, but Akiha didn't mutter a single word and brought the main dish to her mouth with a stern look on her face. Oh, isn't that how she is most of the time? Akiha came back about an hour ago. Apparently, there was an unscheduled problem and they had to deal with it. Hisui, just in case you're wondering, did I mention that our dinner is strictly private? I whispered to Hisui so that Akiha would not hear me. No, the relatives were free to talk among themselves. So Akiha's silence is simply because she's in a bad mood. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I think Akiha is tired. I see, you're right. She's always in a bad mood, but right now she's in a particularly bad mood. I really appreciate your hard work. I can hear you, Nissan. Yeah, I seriously sympathize. It's not for me to say, but the only thing I can do for my sister whose day off was cut short by an unplanned event is to give her a good night's rest. I don't dare talk about it. You heard me, brother. It's not that I'm tired from the afternoon inspection. It's our family manners to eat quietly. She stared at me. It's not only that she knows that I'm talking to Hisui, but I'm afraid that she knows what I'm saying. She's got hellish ears. But that's all in the past. Are you sure though? You still seem angry. If you really need to talk, or want to discuss the day's events, that's fine. I nodded my head and resumed eating. My appetite came back in the evening, probably because I had eaten less breakfast and lunch. Still, tonight's menu is somewhat painful on the eyes. Not only the beef fillet and foie gras, but also the bright red sauce reminded me of blood, which undeniably reminded me of the events of yesterday. A sudden murder, an unlikely reunion, an unlikely monster. The fingers stretched out on the backs of many deaths, and the touch of death, and the natural farewell that I knew would happen once I defeated the vampire. This is completely pathetic. I'm not sure if I've lost my fever after all that pondering, but I have. So, how did you spend your afternoon off, brother, after all the work you did for me? Huh? Oh, yeah, you mean me. I went for a walk this afternoon, and I've been laying in bed since I got back to my room. Is it, anemia again? No, I was just thinking before I knew it. It was night. My body doesn't feel so bad, and my legs are fine. So you've been wasting your time for nothing. Please don't say such trivial things out loud. I don't think anything of it. But if other people hear it, they'll just laugh at you. It was Akiha's opinion that was relentless and irrefutable. Be that as it may. It was certainly a statement that could be considered self-defeating. Or rather, it was self-defeating, and I'm sorry. But Akiha said that she doesn't think anything of it. How come? Could it be that she just looks strict and is generous to her immediate family? Why not? Why not? I don't expect anything from Shikitono. I knew from the beginning that you were that kind of person. Jesus Christ. Well, that's a good point. I love how Shiki's just like, yeah, that makes sense. I am kind of a useless person. The theory is that if you don't expect it, you won't be disappointed. Yeah, if you have no expectations, you never will be disappointed. That is exactly what I mean when I say I can't even hear a word. No, thank you for the food. I guess we haven't built up any real affection points with Akiha, so she's just going to continue to be completely, just continue to be soon to us. I have a lesson to learn after dinner, so I'll be on my way. Brother, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, why don't you go back to your room early tonight and work on your studies? Akiha got up from her seat and left the diner. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this, but I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a great way to get the most out of your time and money. That made no sense. Shiki, fight! Don't let Akiha-sama beat you! As I followed Akiha, the mischievous housekeeper waved and cheered me on. Yeah. Akiha is kind of like this, if I remember correctly, throughout most of the near side routes. And also somewhat, oh, I don't know. She's maybe a little bit more tolerable in the far side routes. But I don't know. I also feel like they turned her soonness up to 11 in the remake as well. Like, she wasn't this soon in the original game. After dinner, I took an early bath and came back to my room. I sat down on the study desk provided. As Akiha said, I spread out my reference books to pay for the daytime I spent in self-indulgence. No matter how many unrealistic incidents he has gone through, Tonoshiki is still a second-year high school student. He has a lot of work to do. No, it's a pile though. But no matter how I try, I can't concentrate. All that comes to mind is... she was a woman who no longer had any need for me and should be forgotten. Oh my god, not today. I gave up and lay down on my bed, staring at the ceiling for no reason. It's okay. This is the last time I'll be doing this tonight. For better or worse, it was a turbulent 2 days. It would be crazy to forget that so easily. You'll need a day for cooling off. This is how I am now, drifting in and out of consciousness with nothing to do. Time is wasted vaguely, as if to keep the memory away, to diminish the impression. Then most events will be a thing of the past. Eventually, my eyelids begin to fall off. My consciousness slowly closed in. An unbearable darkness enveloped my senses. This is how the peacefully passed holiday ended. I lay on the bed and fall into a vague sleep, as if I were tricking myself.